Okay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 2, and I'm impressed with this product because it made me, react a lot more in comparison to Season 1. Surprise, laughter, a little bit more nervous, nods of appreciation to various scenes, ooh, that kind of a thing, and just, yeah. Definitely glad that they did that, although the flow of this season wasn't entirely consistent, which is my main gripe about this season, but I'll get into that. So, breaking into some of the major themes related to this season, well, first of all, expanding on Xander and Willow and Cordelia a little bit. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. I'm glad that they got all those storylines that they did in the show because I was wondering throughout season 1 why Cordelia was included on the intro, and yet she didn't really appear to do that much. She was just like the annoying girl, that was on the sidelines. But I'm glad over the course of the season that she got more involved in the mix, even though she kept complaining. But let's face it, she didn't exactly volunteer, unlike almost everyone else, right? And then her and Xander, becoming an item. Well, I didn't really see that coming. I mean, like, in the argument leading up to the first kiss, I did see that coming, but it's just, the kind of interaction. Now, like, this might be our last moment, so, yeah, I'm gonna give one last kiss, that kind of a thing. But them actually, staying together, I didn't really, see much reason for that, I mean, like, they're going for a little bit of, the people that can't stand each other but actually have feelings for each other, but there's no build-up, that kind of a thing. Although, given how they do spend more time with each other, one can argue feelings can develop, but that's more like where the Xander and Willow attraction bit comes with, because well, something like that can happen. You can know someone for a long period of time, and then have, like, a temporary break, or one of them does something that slightly changes their relationship, which it will, in this case, they both did, which is realize who Buffy is, and start helping her. And then all of a sudden, you suddenly start looking at this person in a new light, because that's what happened to me with my second crush. I've known her for many years, then there was a few years that we weren't in contact, we got met again, and then after our first interaction, I'm like, oh boy, I've got a crush on her now. Whatever, I laugh at how I felt now, right? But, yeah, that's more like how those two would behave, and, like, I honestly thought actually it would be, Xander chasing after Willow, not so much Willow arguably chasing after Xander, because she doesn't do too much, but that does come with, her personality of, not being the most headstrong, but when she puts her foot down, she, can be, which is good for her, but, like, yeah, I actually did feel sorry for her, all those times where Xander, just couldn't see that, she was attracted to him, and that's actually kind of rare. Like, I think I felt more for Willow than I did in many other situations, and you're wondering why I'm not complaining about, the love triangle bit. Well, it's not that they're both vying for Xander, because it seemed like just before Xander and Cordelia, had their first kiss, the show kind of left the story arc between Xander and Willow, in that area just off the table for a little bit. So, sure, Willow's reaction was, ah! When she saw them kissing, but I honestly think that she would have done that even if she, hadn't had her feelings for Xander, and she would have blown up in almost the same way, because, yeah, it is kind of odd, and as I said, there isn't that much of a build-up, but who knows, maybe real hardcore fans of this show can picture them in the characters' minds and come up with something, right? And then Giles with that other teacher, Julia. That was nice, what they were doing with her, because, trying to humanize Giles a little bit, even though he is more humanized than Merrick, yeah, but it was good to get him, start having some emotional attachment, even though he does have some emotional attachment to Buffy. He just hasn't totally shown that Yes, because I seriously don't see how the relationship between him and Buffy can't go without there being a little bit of a fatherly figure going on at some point. Heck, after Buffy's mother was trying to comfort him after Angel killed Julia, I'm like, are they setting these two up? Oh gosh, right, yeah. But yeah, that was a nice story arc, and I was sorry to see her character get killed off. But I had been thinking, well, building up quite a lot of people that know everything. Someone I think should be canned eventually, and also why aren't they putting Julia in the intro? Because Angel's in the intro, Cordelia's in the intro. Why isn't she in there? Well, that explains it. And the addition of Seth Green's character Oz. Not bad, kind of came out of nowhere, but I'll take it. I did feel it was, kind of sudden for everybody else, so. Not much new there, and it does add another layer of complexity, to have someone who's, with the group, which Xander offhandedly marks as the Scooby Gate, although I really don't know why. But, I'm not always be there, that kind of a thing, because he is a guest star. Well. Okay, moving on to the vampires. I'm not saying bad guys, because that's one thing that kind of got to me about this season. There wasn't any huge overall bad guy. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Spike. Well, the problem with that is he had too much personality, because even in the very first episode that he appeared in, where he's rampaging against Buffy and all that stuff, I think that the first time that we really see him, he's interacting with other vampires, being real sarcastic, saying that they're being stupid. Just, he had way too much personality to be like, the main antagonist, and even then, the show was clearly fitting him to be, he's technically the bad guy, and yet, like with Clive Owen in Inside Man and Vin Diesel and all the Riddick movies, we're supposed to like him. And I did enjoy his humor, but yeah, he wasn't the main villain, because, the villain, just kept changing to being him, arguably, then Drusilla kind of taking up the reins, then arguably Julia's uncle being responsible for Angel turning, and then Angel becoming the villain, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that wasn't a bad thing, because it did add a layer of despair to this show the whole time, but yeah. That was one thing that kind of got to me. Although some of Spike, Angel, and Drusilla's plots were interesting, like the judge bit. Oh god, that was hilarious. All the one-liners that this season did. Just excellent timing. Really enjoying myself with all that stuff. And then how it ended up being resolved, well, I had beginning to think that, they wouldn't show the hard drive just falling into a place like that if they're not going to use it. And as I mentioned early at the beginning of this video, I did get, apprehensive for the cast at various points, and I was apprehensive here. So that was some good stuff. And then the building of the main Joel, even though he's, technically a good guy. I don't totally know how to feel about him, because I do get why he and Buffy, do their relationship bits, because, they're separated from normal people via this kind of a thing, but still, the underlying fact of the matter is Angel, isn't going to age, and Buffy's mortal, so, what are you supposed to do about that? Although, of course, I'm not thinking that while I'm watching it, but I did think about that first part. And I can see how, Buffy, was hurt by his, betrayal, because, let's face it, because as it's been proven time and time again, traumatic events can lead to, people developing feelings for each other, but, yeah. So I'm a little confused to figure out how I feel about his character, because, I don't even know if I'm going to watch his show, although I have heard that, his show does tie into Buffy's show a good deal, although by the time that you guys see this, I'm betting that I'm going to be at the point where his show starts interacting with it, yeah, so, Okay, I think I've touched upon, pretty much every big character, and then, so how did I feel about, the end of this season? I'll give it props, but I do feel like it was kind of anticlimactic. I mean, like, sure, Buffy, having to pretty much destroy Angel, the man that she's in love with, is a powerful thing, but I just didn't have that much weight to it. And it's not even the fact that I know that Angel's going to come back, it's just that I didn't feel too much when it happened. I honestly felt far more bad for, Xander after he's by Willow's side and admits that he actually has feelings for her, and then Willow says Oz rather than like him or Buffy. So, yeah, I didn't really like that feeling. And, as I mentioned at the start of this season didn't exactly, see, video, this season didn't actually have the greatest flow, in my opinion. Now, it wasn't disrupted, but just the way that they do some story arcs, put them on hold, and then resume them, like Buffy and Angel dealing with their feelings, Xander, Willow, Cordelia, um, the principal, who's played by Armin, who's in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I think. Yeah, I just wish that I had felt a little better about it. Now, TV shows do this all the time. Establish a story arc, leave it hanging, and then bring it back later in the season. I fully agree with that, but I just didn't feel the greatest with it. Maybe I just need, more time to appreciate it. I don't know. Yeah. And also, Drusilla at the end. I'm totally surprised, that they didn't, kill her off. I mean, like, Spike did, drag her out of there, but... And it is kind of consistent with his character, because he isn't the type of person that wants power. He does want some chaos, but not too much. But just, I don't know. There's more to see from this guy, because, yeah... Never really thought he was the villain. He definitely fit a lot more like anti-hero. Drusilla works much better as the villain, if you ask me. Yeah. Okay, I think this video's gone on long enough. See ya.